Top 5 Airplane Crashes in Africa. Air travel is often called the safest mode of transportation. But when disaster strikes, the impact is unforgettable. Africa has seen remarkable progress in aviation over the decades, yet it has also witnessed some of the most shocking and heartbreaking crashes in aviation history. These crashes not only left scars on families and nations, but also changed the way airlines and authorities view safety. Today, we're diving into the top 5 airplane crashes in Africa, tragedies that shook the continent and the world. But don't click away, because what you'll discover is not just about loss, but about lessons learned, changes made, and how these disasters reshaped aviation forever. Stick with me until the end, because the number 1 crash on our list is one that changed aviation safety in Africa forever. Setting the stage. Before we count down, let's set the context. Africa's aviation industry is one of the most challenging in the world. Vast distances, limited infrastructure in some regions, and unpredictable weather can make flying difficult. Yet Africa is also home to some of the busiest and most advanced airports, and millions of passengers fly safely every year. But when tragedies happen, they leave lasting marks in history. So now, let's get into it, starting with number 5. At the 5th position, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 409, 2010, Lebanon. Though departing from Beirut, this disaster was tied to Africa's largest carrier, Ethiopian Airlines. The Boeing 737 crashed into the Mediterranean Sea just minutes after takeoff, killing all 90 people on board. The weather was stormy, but investigations also pointed to possible pilot disorientation. Ethiopian Airlines had a strong safety record, but this tragedy shocked Africa because it reminded the world that even well-run airlines are vulnerable. What's chilling is that the crash happened at night, in poor visibility, leaving investigators piecing together fragments to understand why such a modern jet went down. At the 4th position, Nigeria Airways, Flight 2120, 1991, Saudi Arabia, but Nigerian carrier. One of the deadliest aviation disasters involving an African airline. A Douglas DC-8 operated by Nigeria Airways, chartered to carry pilgrims, took off from Jeddah with 261 people on board. Just minutes into the flight, fire broke out due to poorly inflated tires overheating during takeoff. The result? A catastrophic fire in the cabin. Tragically, all 261 passengers and crew lost their lives. The horror of this disaster was amplified by the fact that it was preventable. Maintenance errors and cost-cutting measures were cited as major causes. This crash became a symbol of how negligence can cost hundreds of lives in aviation. At the 3rd position, Kenya Airways Flight 507, 2007, Cameroon, one of the most haunting crashes on African soil. This Boeing 737 took off from Douala, Cameroon, in stormy weather bound for Nairobi. Just minutes after departure, the aircraft went down into a mangrove swamp. All 114 people on board died. The investigation found that the pilots lost control of the plane after becoming spatially disoriented, a common risk in bad weather, especially at night. What made this even more shocking was that the wreckage was not located for nearly 2 days, despite being less than 6 miles from the airport. Imagine the agony of families waiting while the aircraft lay so close, yet hidden in dense swamps. At the 2nd position, Nigerian Airways Flight 2120, 2002 Kano crash. This tragedy unfolded in Kano, Nigeria, when an EAS Airlines Boeing 727 crashed into a heavily populated area shortly after takeoff. 148 people on board were killed, along with dozens on the ground. This disaster devastated not only the passengers, but entire families and neighborhoods. Imagine the horror, not just for those on board, but for the unsuspecting people in their homes on a normal day. This crash was a wake-up call for Nigerian aviation, leading to stricter safety oversight. At the 1st position, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302, 2019, Ethiopia. This crash shook the entire world. Just minutes after taking off from Addis Ababa en route to Nairobi, a brand-new Boeing 737 MAX plunged into the ground, killing all 157 people on board. This was not just an African tragedy, it was global. Investigations revealed flaws in Boeing's MCAS software, which forced the plane's nose down repeatedly. Pilots worldwide had not been properly informed about this system. This crash, along with the earlier Lion Air crash in Indonesia, led to the worldwide grounding of the Boeing 737 MAX fleet. This was the moment African aviation made headlines everywhere. The tragedy was not about African airlines or infrastructure. It exposed problems in one of the world's largest aircraft manufacturers. In many ways, Africa became the stage for a crisis that forced Boeing and regulators worldwide to rethink safety and transparency. Note, each of these crashes left heartbreak, but also lessons. They reshaped policies, grounded planes, and forced changes in safety practices. Aviation is built on learning from tragedy, and Africa has played a central role in making global skies safer. So the question is, after hearing these stories, do you feel safer flying, knowing that every tragedy leads to stricter safety rules? Or do these events make you more cautious about stepping onto a plane? Share your thoughts in the comments, because your perspective might help other travelers too. And if you found this video eye-opening, give it a like, subscribe for more aviation deep dives, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss out. Until next time, may your flights always be safe and your skies always clear.